Welcome back. China spying on a top American nuclear and weapons site for decades. A group of House Republicans are demanding that the Biden administration investigate reports of a Chinese government-linked infiltration into New Mexico's Los Alamos National Laboratory. Texas Congressman Brian Babin is the ranking member of the Space and Aeronautics Committee. He and his colleagues sending a letter to the administration. He joins me now. Congressman, thanks very much for being here.
Great to be with you, Maria.
Tell me about this surveillance campaign. What are they trying to do, and how long has this been going on?
Well, we think, according to the report that we had last month, the Los Alamos Club report, we're calling it, for decades, literally decades, they have had this 1,000 Talents program that recruits and incentivizes people who are working in our national laboratories, and this one happens to be Los Alamos in New Mexico, where the Manhattan Project was, and still a lot of U.S. weapons and nuclear research going on out there. And we find out that at least 162 scientists who have worked at Los Alamos over the years, since from '87 until 2021. Many returned to China, and they supported the Communist Chinese Party in various research and development programs, and imparted knowledge that they had obtained while working at Los Alamos, and they imparted this knowledge to the Chinese. The Chinese absolutely have a desire and a national strategy to replace America as the #1 world superpower, and they're well on their way, and that's why we have to make sure that this Biden administration begins to take the Chinese threat. It's a clear and present danger, and they need to be a lot more serious about it.
But they're not, Congressman. You know that. I mean, look, under the Trump administration, there was a string of indictments of people who were sending information back to the Chinese Communist Party, like the head of the chemistry department at Harvard, like the embassy in Houston that they had to shut down because of all of the spying and surveillance going on. And what did Joe Biden do when he got in office? He canceled the China Initiative. That was an initiative that was investigating all of this surveillance and intellectual property theft. Why did he cancel it? Is he compromised? Why is he not reacting to this in a more serious way?
That is the $64,000 question, Maria. You can't help but think about Hunter Biden and the big guy, and some of the evidence that's coming out that's overwhelmingly showing that we very could and probably do have a compromised president and administration because of past wheeling and dealing with the Chinese Communist Party, and not only them, but the Russians and the Ukrainians. And I mean, there's just so much evidence out there that that there was a lot of hanky-panky that's been going on. So it's very, very concerning, and we hear all the time where, as you mentioned, canceling those programs. John Kirby, the White House coordinator for the National Security Council, when asked a question about the purchases of land by Communist China,
that's right,
close to some of our air bases, he says, "Well, I can't get into a real estate question,"
that's
and
right.
just kind of just brushed it away.
I saw that, Congressman. You're absolutely right. And John Ratcliffe, the former director of national intelligence, has told me the strategy of the CCP is very simple: rob, replicate, replace. And that's what they do, whether it's a corporation or national security secrets. Rob, replicate, replace. Is that what this is?
That's exactly what this is. And the Biden administration just simply will not take this seriously, or they simply have no intention of taking it seriously because of what we had just talked about. And where's the accountability here? This is why we're very concerned about the FBI, about the DOJ, trying to get to the bottom of some of these allegations. And China is just going forth 100% and taking and utilizing our own scientists against us over and over again, not only at Los Alamos, but as you said, in American academia, here in the great state of Texas. And I represent part of Houston, And I recall very vividly when that consulate was closed down because of, and I represent Johnson Space Center, and there we know that there were some espionage happening. Taking some of that information we had in the Johnson Space Center, and then they were indignant, and we saw over and over again where. They said there was nothing going on, and yet they had burn barrels, and we had video footage of them throwing papers in the consulate yard there, burning them. So we know these people are bad news.
Unbelievable.